Today we're going to be discussing the argumentative essay. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to define and discuss the purpose of an argumentative essay. You will be able to construct a topic flow map for your chosen topic. You will understand what a reliable resource is for research. You'll be able to define claim, data, and warrant and apply them to your paragraph body. You will understand the argumentative essay format and how to write the introduction, body, and conclusion of your essay. So what is an argumentative essay? An argumentative essay uses evidence and facts to prove whether or not your thesis is true. Much like a lawyer, you must know both sides of an issue. You must determine what are some pros and cons of an issue. What is the purpose of an argumentative essay? Who is your audience? And what can you do to change their mind? An argumentative essay always makes a strong claim and always supports the claim with evidence. If my topic is drunk drivers should be imprisoned on their first offense, I want to target the audience who I have an opportunity to change their mind. If my claim is in favor of my topic, then am I going to change the mind of a senior in high school who just graduated and got pulled over by the police for running a stop sign while drinking? My claim states with the first offense, this 18-year-old would be imprisoned. Would my argument change the person's mind? If my reader is a mom whose child was killed by a drunk driver, I will not need to change her mind. You want to target the audience who are undecided, who are sitting on the fence. When you write an argument, think of the people in the middle as your target audience and write to them. So now you've decided on your topic. Now you're going to create a brainstorming map. You will find the link for this map on our class website in case you lost it or you were not actually in class today. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. So your brainstorming work cluster diagram, you will include your topic in the middle. Above your topic, you are going to put the pros for your topic, and then below you're going to put your cons for your topic. You will include several main ideas and research that supports both your pros and your cons. Your paragraph essay format. Now that we are ready to begin writing, an argumentative essay follows the same type of format as other essays. You will start with your introduction and have 3 body paragraphs and a conclusion. Your introduction should include an attention getter. If you are writing about a piece of literature, which we're not for this specific assignment, you will talk about the work that you are writing about and you will mention the author and the title. But what is an attention getter? How do you plan to draw your reader in? Remember that forms of attention getters include an anecdote, provocative questions, surprising facts or ideas, humor, mystery, quotation, or a verbal picture. Remember, your thesis is the reader's roadmap for your paper. Your thesis is your well-developed opinion of the topic. It is the central assertion and how you're going to prove your essay. So when I read your introduction, I should see an attention getter. I should see basically what you're writing about and a thesis which states your opinion. Your paragraph body is composed of 3 main elements: claim, data, and warrant. So what is a claim? If you were a lawyer, it is a statement that you would make that proves your thesis statement. Let's take our topic example. Drunk drivers should be imprisoned for their first offense. A claim may be having greater consequences for driving drunk would deter drivers from drinking and getting behind the wheel. Remember that a claim states the position on what you're writing about. A good claim can be debatable. I don't want to see something that is just an opinion that there is no debate for. A good claim is not vague, and a good claim is engaging. So what is data? Data is your evidence from your research that supports your claim. Your data can be found on the internet, broadcast media, newspapers, magazines, journals, or books. Your data includes facts, statistics, expert opinion, and personal anecdotes. When you're researching your data, you need to make sure that your resources are reliable. And to determine your reliability for your resources, we use the CRAP test. Let me go ahead and click over to that worksheet, which you will also find on our website, our class website. When evaluating your resources, I want you to look at the currency. What is the timeliness of the information? I want you to look at the relevance, the importance of the info for your needs. I want you to look at the authority, the source of the info. Who is the author or publisher? Are they qualified to write about your topic? I want you to evaluate the accuracy, the reliability and correctness of the information. And I want you to look at the purpose. What is the reason this information exists? Is it to inform, teach, sell, persuade, or entertain? Is the information given on fact or opinion? And most importantly, is the author or publisher, are they biased or unbiased on your topic? So what is warrant? If you were a lawyer, how would you relate your data to your claim? A warrant interprets data to support your claim. It explains its commentary, why the data proves your claim. Is it a reasonable interpretation of your facts? Does your warrant assume more than the evidence supports? And your warrant considers and responds to counter arguments. So how does claim, data, warrant make up your paragraph body? Your claim is your topic sentence. A claim or assertion, that's your topic sentence, that is the major reason for that your thesis is true. The data is your supporting detail. And then your warrant is your commentary. In each paragraph, you're going to repeat this twice, the same pattern. So you will address both sides of your issue in your argument. Your first claim will be your argument for your thesis, backed by your data, and then commentary that states how your data backs your claim. You'll have a transition sentence into your next data. This data or evidence is the rebuttal of the counterclaim. So your transition will include and draw into the counterclaim of your thesis. Your last data will explain and rebut why it disagrees and negates that counterclaim. And then your warrant explain why the data does not prove your claim. And then a concluding sentence that ties the paragraph together. In writing your conclusion, you're going to restate your thesis. You will add a summary of what your data proves about your thesis, how does your evidence contribute to your thesis, and an attention lever, a strong sentence that leaves a lasting impression on the reader. What is the last thing you want your reader to remember when they finish reading your paper? For your assignment, you're going to use the Claim Data Warrant Paragraph Organizer. So I want to see your issue that you are talking about. I want to see your main idea, your topic, your claim, your supporting evidence, your data that is reliable, and then your commentary, your warrant. How does that data support your claim? For your second piece of data, your second piece of evidence, you want that to reflect what your transition sentence is that's into the counterclaim. So how does that data negate, prove that the counterclaim is wrong for your claim, and then the commentary on that data. You will make sure that you have 3 of these, one for each body paragraph. You will find our rubric. So I want you to make sure that your claim states your position on the issue you have chosen to write about, that the claim is not obvious. Why bother proving a point nobody could disagree with? That the claim is engaging. Are you teaching the reader something new? That the claim is not too vague. The best claims are very specific. The claim is related to your thesis. The claim is debatable. Claims that are purely factual or only opinion fail this requirement. Each of your data should include quotes or examples, facts or statistics, expert opinion, or personal anecdotes. And then remember that your warrant interprets the data and shows how it supports your claim. Explaining how the example, statistics, quote, or reference supports the claim. You explain the significance of the data. You usually have 3 or 5 sentences long. Okay, we will not have 5 paragraphs. I only want you to have the 3 paragraphs that include claim, data, and warrant. And then you will have an introduction and a conclusion paragraph. So there will be a total of 5 paragraphs, but only 3 of your paragraphs, your second, third, and fourth paragraph, will include the claim, data, and warrant. Okay, guys, I think that about sums it up. I look forward to seeing what you have been writing, and I will see you in class next week. Have a great day, guys.